What's up, golfers? This is the Pace of Change.
It's about family, it's about fitness, it's about fun, and it's about fast.
It's about changing perceptions about the sport of golf. Golf is a fitness sport.
Recreation, community, engaging with all age groups.
It's something I've never ever thought of playing, but I actually really think it would be fun.
I had to wait 25 minutes on that tee box. The fact that I'm not doing anything about this is the reason that it persists.
It is undeniably different.
What's up, Speed Golfers? Welcome back to the Pace of Change Golf Podcast. I'm your co-host, Scott Dawley, and along with Dude Spellings, we are broadcasting the evolution of golf in the 21st century. But what does that mean? Well, each week we profile and interview the leading innovative minds in and around the world of golf. Pioneers in the alt golf space, tech entrepreneurs, industry association insiders, human performance experts. To sum it up, we turn the mic on and we let the future of golf come out. October is Speedgolf Month on the POC, and Speed Golfers, we have a new world champion. That's right, at the top of the field, two-time winner, defending champion, and world number one, Rob Hogan, finishes in fourth, less than one stroke behind third place Mack McLain and second place Wes Cupp. But in the end, nobody could catch up to number 8 ranked Jaime Young, who propelled himself into the round one lead with a record-tying 72 even par performance in 50 minutes. In the final round, Jaime kept a clean speed golf scorecard, no high numbers, just 5 bogeys and the rest pars, to capture his second win, and at the age of 52, his first world championship. Now, we'll have Jaime on the podcast starting next Tuesday. It'll be a 2-part interview coming out, part 1 next Tuesday. Now, after the event, I caught up with Dude Spellings and Alan Phillips, who finished sixth this year, to recap World Championship Week while the experience was fresh for them. So there's some great insights in this episode. Let's get to it, but first. There are a few important announcements we need to get out there into the world right away. So thank you for your patience as we go through these. A couple of them you might be interested in. So for those of you following the Speed Golf Power Rankings, we can't go into 2017 with Jaime Young, the world champion, as the number 8 ranked speed golfer, right? All right, so we're preparing to initiate another round of voting with Speed Golf insiders, players, fans, and that's going to take the results from this week's World Championship into account. So be on the lookout for more about the Speed Golf Power Rankings. Now, Dude and I are very excited to announce Speed Golf Texas will be hosting one last final Speed Golf event in 2016. It's called the Pace of Play Challenge. It's the first event of its kind, and it's happening on 12/31. That's right, New Year's Eve day. It's going to be at the Wolf Dancer Golf Course at Hyatt Lost Pines, which is just outside of Austin, Texas. Now, as far as we know, it's the only golf event in the country specifically designed around the issue of pace of play. So we want to show the golf world that it doesn't have to take 4 or 5 hours to play around a golf, even in a tournament, and that it's actually more fun when you pick up the pace, which is what outings and tournaments are supposed to be all about anyways. Now, Wolf Dancer is a top-rated course in the Texas Hill Country. It's going to be a great challenge for golfers and speed golfers alike. There's going to be a speed golf division, and we'll have a pro purse if we can get 5 pros at a minimum to commit to the event. So, if you're one of those, let us know right away. If you're interested in competing, we'll reach out to you, give you more information. Next, we have what we're now calling Pace of Play flights. So we're going to send out teams of 2, and they're going to be able to choose between a 2-hour flight and a 3-hour flight. Now, they have to play the entire round under that amount of time, and they'll be penalized 1 stroke for every minute over the maximum flight time. So this is really a new and exciting way to get the traditional golfer into the mindset of thinking about time as part of the equation while you're out there. And it really adds a new dimension to the game of golf, as all speed golfers know. So we're really excited about this. If you know somebody in the Austin, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas area, let them know about the Pace of Play Challenge. Send them over to speedgolftexas.com where they can learn more information about it and even register if they'd like. Now, finally, we're going to be working in tandem with the annual Last Chance Open, which has been going on for several years. It's a non-timed 2-person team event with gross and net flights. So that'll also be exciting. In fact, I think a lot of the speed golfers will also probably play in the Last Chance Open. So we have open registration at speedgolftexas.com. Again, everything you need to know about the event is there. If you have more questions, please reach out to us. Now, did you know the annual New Zealand and Australia Speed Golf Championships are taking place one weekend right after the other? That's right. It's going to happen March 4th and 5th in Rotorua, New Zealand, and then the following weekend in Melbourne, Australia. Now, the news here is that Speed Golf USA is organizing and putting together a player package right now, and we're going to be sending a speed golf team down under to represent the USA. I'm going, and hey, I want you to come with me. So we're going to be working with both Speed Golf Associations and the National Golf Associations down under to create an unforgettable trip. This is New Zealand, this is Australia, with plenty of speed golf, outdoor running, sightseeing, and more. If you're interested, head over to usaspeedgolf.com and sign up. We can get you more information. This could be the trip of a lifetime. So be sure to check it out. Now, lastly, we want to talk about our show sponsors. I've kind of run out of time here to do it, but I want you to head over to paceofchange.com. We have a show sponsors and affiliates page, which will break all that down for you, show you who is supporting the Pace of Change Golf podcast. And also, they've got some great listener discounts on products and services that are game-changing and exciting, perfect for the 21st century golfer. So check that out. All right, exciting times. Hey, if we're bringing you content that you enjoy and appreciate, you know how you can let us know that? Well, first of all, thank you for listening, but thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking and subscribing and leaving reviews. You know, this only assures that our message and our podcast are getting out to more people who are interested in what we're talking about, the evolution of golf in the 21st century. Okay, let's catch up for a World Championship recap with Dude Spellings and Alan Phillips.
Yo.
What's up, man?
How's it going? Good.
So, guys, I know we had some pre-event interviews, which were awesome. Tons of people listened. Now we're here in the post round. Dude, since you had the first round on Monday, tell us about your round and tell us about the golf course when you were out there.
Well, the course was set up probably about as friendly for speed golf as they could do it. It was, they seemed to respond to Speed Golf International's requests for to make it more amenable to speed golf. I scored Monday morning for Paris at 8 a.m. I think he was like the fourth person out or something like that. And I was after about the fifth hole, I was kind of chuckling to myself because Jim Kochelik had put out an email saying that he had asked the Glen Club to give us accessible pins. And I was kind of laughing after about the fifth hole because every single green had the pin in the dead center of the green. And I was just like shaking my head, like every green would come up to, it's right in the middle. And it's funny that the scores weren't lower the second day, even though they didn't move the pins.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, we need to talk about it, and you guys can help me out, but it looks like Jaime Young shot 250 something.
250.
That would have been third place last year.
Wow. You know, I thought they did a really good job. The greens were a little bit more reasonable speeds for speed golf. It didn't help my putting any, but, you know, guys like Jamie, Wes, and Mac, and Jason, and Alan all seemed to putt pretty well.
What were they running on the stimp, if you had to guess?
I would say probably 9.5, 10.
Good. That's a good speed.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's great. It sounds like some of the things that we've talked about, hoping.
Yeah, they listen. The Glen Club definitely listen.
Yeah.
One thing that I did think was maybe a little bit too score friendly was that last year they had a couple of the par fives or there's about 4 holes that they actually moved the silver tee back to the blue position on the tee box, right? So last year there's about 4 holes that they thought silver might be just a little bit too short, and they moved it back. So this year in a practice round on number 5, I hit hybrid 7-iron to the green, and that's a par 5. So in my opinion, they might 6,000 even, which is what's on that scorecard. Alan, do you remember the exact yardage? It's like 60.
Yeah, it was 6,000 something.
Yeah. I think it was like 43. I read that somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, it was well under 6,100, and I think that's probably just a few, like 200 yards too short, probably. What did you think, Alan?
I thought the back 9 was very short, and I think the par 5s. I think that first one on the front 9, or that second one, the 5th hole that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that played pretty short, but when you talk about there's reachable and there's speed golf reachable, because if you're 200 yards out, in the regular grounded golf, that's you're not thinking twice about going for it.
Yeah.
But 200 out in speed golf is, that's kind of like 260 for a lot of us.
And that one was over water.
Right, exactly. And so that one, it was downwind. So yeah, if you take a big swing at it, you can get it down into 7-iron range, for sure. But yeah, that next hole, number 6, that played a lot easier from the silver tees. It took that bunker out of play. And I know some people went right of that tree and drew it around. So you could, if you played it right, you could get inside, 100 yards or so on that hole.
In our practice rounds, I was basically hitting hybrid into that hole. Mm-hmm. And then in the actual competitive round, I hit hybrid 7-iron.
Yeah, a completely different hole. But it was the same for everyone. It wasn't an easy hole because it wasn't to the wind, and it was a tricky little wind on that hole.
Yeah, even the center green pin placement on that hole still brings that front bunker into play.
Right. I was in there twice.
Oh, goodness.
So you guys tell me about the first tee experience. What was it like this year? You guys still have the jitters and get really excited. And what was your strategy for the first hole?
Well, it was the same starter from last year, and he got into it. He was great. He was super friendly, and he remembered a lot of people from last year, and took his job real seriously and announced every name like PGA event. Virginia had a really elaborate photography set up on the first tee, so that was really cool.
Cool.
I was definitely less nervous this year. Now, you remember my tee shot from last year. You're standing right there, and I hit a horrible
little low
burn into the trees, and this year I ripped one right down the middle, so that felt really good.
Awesome. Alan, what about you?
Yeah, it's always a nervous experience every time you tee it up.
And it's been a couple years for you.
Yeah, World Championship, 2-year hiatus. And yeah, you're just trying to get the ball airborne, trying to get it forward. Fortunately, it's a fairly generous tee shot on that hole. You just have to advance it forward. That far bunker is not really in play, and you have to hit a pretty bad shot to hit it into that short bunker. And it's a 3-shot par 5 for the most part. And so, yeah, just try to advance it forward and put it in a place where you can lay it up to have a good third shot.
We talked about before the round, Alan, your what's in the bag. You had taken driver out. Did you make any changes from round 1 to round 2?
I took the same thing in both rounds. I don't remember exactly what I said when we talked before. I put a 5-iron in the bag instead of 6. I think I might have told you 6.
Yeah.
I put a 5 in part because the wind was just blowing harder. And like hole number 11, I wasn't going to reach that because I wasn't going to reach that with a 6.
So did 5-iron work out for you? Were you able to get on the green from there on 11?
It was the right club. I just didn't put good swings on it.
Okay, yeah, so it was the right distance. Nice.
Right.
I tell you, I didn't execute much correctly on my round, but I did play that hole exactly like I wanted to. I just bunted a hybrid with a cut right of the green into the
It's so
rough.
smart. It's the smartest play. Worst thing you do is make bogey.
Yeah, and I made bogey and lipped out a par putt.
Bogey is par on that hole. Okay, well, on the front nine, give me the best hole that you played.
Probably easily number 7.
Number 7 is the par 4.
Number 1 handicap hole.
Yeah.
Hit a great drive with the hybrid, and then had like 197 or something left.
Sounds about right.
Hit another hybrid right at the pin like a laser, had about a 10-footer for birdie, and hit the lip, had a 3-inch par putt.
Nice. That's an easy way to do it. What about you, Alan?
I had a good look at birdie on 1 yesterday and parted again today. I think probably number 4 was my best hole, I'd say. Had it
short downhill par 3.
Right. Had it in tight for birdie. Yesterday didn't make it. It was about 8 feet. And then yesterday kind of hit a half shank out into the weeds, but slashed it on and made a 12-footer for par.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. What is y'all's most memorable putt? Did you guys have any big, long snakes that you drained?
No, I didn't. Last year, I had a really long putt on number 9, that 175-yard par 3.
Yes.
And I made it for birdie, and I almost did it again this year. Yeah.
That's a good little par 3 because it's unsuspecting from the tee, and then you get up around the green, and man, there's a lot of different places you can get in the wrong place on that hole.
Is there a bigger green in Illinois?
It's
huge.
It's huge, but it's still, I mean, it's hard. I thought it was a hard hole. But, Alan, I'm looking here. It looks like on the back 9, 14 was something that gave you a little bit of trouble.
It did.
So what was it about 14? 14 is a dogleg left par 5. There's an easy carry over a bunker and some trees. I'm sorry, it is easy though. Like when you're just playing golf, and speed golf is totally different. But
it's a 450 yards. It's only a par 5 because they put a 5 there. It could easily be a par 4.
Yeah. So what happened there? Was it just mental? Did it not set up for you, or was it what was it? Execution?
Yesterday was execution. I laid it up perfectly. It's about 90 yards. Hit not a great sand wedge in there, about 15 feet above the hole, and left it a little short. And,
okay. Right, so it was on the green there.
Right. And then today was a little more eventful. Tried to overcook the draw around the corner and got up there. Couldn't find the ball. My spotter couldn't find it either. They actually had a designated spotter across the other side of the fairway who didn't see it.
Were you on the left side of the rough?
I was in the rough. Yeah, I was on the left side.
Okay.
So didn't get to the other side. And so after about 30 seconds or so, felt like 10 minutes, said, okay, call it off.
Done.
It's in that high grass there. I didn't carry it far enough, drop it. And then after I had dropped it, my spotter says, hey, it's up here. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm in play now. And so,
man.
And then, it was
part out from there.
Well, no, bogeyed out from there since.
Yeah. In, went out 2, and then made your way in. Yeah. Now, and then you go to 15 in round 1 and you birdie that. How did that? What went down there?
Just left rough, then hit it tight, routine birdie.
Yeah, over that bunker.
Yeah.
Did you go for it on 18 in the first round?
In the first round, I did. In the first round, I just laid the sod over another 90-yard wedge.
Okay, all right. Those 90-yard shots are tough, man, especially on the back 9.
Yeah, it's one of those things I was thinking about on the plane. It's like we talk about how well you generally hit the ball in speed golf compared to what you'd expect, but there's still some shots in speed golf that you hit that you just never hit in regular golf. And even though by and large you find the center of the face pretty well and you advance the ball pretty well, there's still some shots that just make you shake your head and say, I don't remember the last time I ever did that.
Do you think, it's 18, obviously, you're tired and you're probably, trying to finish as fast as you can. Do you think if you would have maybe taken 2 more extra breaths before you hit the wedge shot, that kind of stuff wouldn't happen?
I think on that particular shot, if I had taken less time, because I remember walking over to the yardage and saying, okay, let's pause. And I don't remember exactly what I was thinking, but it was thinking like, don't blade it or whatever, or keep the hands ahead. And it just kind of had two competing swing thoughts in. And next thing you know, you're ahead of the ball. The low point is 3 inches behind the ball, and you're saying, don't go in the water.
The reason I was asking is because I definitely found myself having that kind of thought, like, okay, you're super out of breath. Maybe wait until you're not so out of breath to take a swing.
Yeah. How long is that, though?
It's like 2 breaths, but
Right.
But
and that
like,
could be a big
like Alan said, it feels like 30 seconds feels like 10 minutes. 2 breaths feels like 2 minutes too long.
Now I do that, especially later in a round on the back 9. I really do have to, or else I know I'm not going to hit a good shot. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time getting down to like the 45, 46 minute range, because I have to get those couple extra breaths in. And now I'm starting to wonder, like, okay, am I saving enough shots to make up for the fact that I think that my pre-shot routine slows down the further I get into the round? Do you guys find that happens to y'all?
For sure, man. I mean, my pre-shot routine becomes a reason to stop and breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I definitely slowed down yesterday on the back 9. I think my split I was about 23 high, 24 low, and then came in at 50 flat. And I think the back 9 is actually a little shorter. So it was just taking a little more time once I had was in a decent position in terms of score. It's like, okay, let's just get it to the house. And obviously in the first round, you can't win it in round 1, but you can definitely lose it. So it's like, we're doing okay. Don't get greedy and just post a number.
Nice, man. Well, way to go on 6th place. Let's jump to Rob Hogan. This guy was obviously a favorite, 2-time defending champion this year. So give me a quick recap. How was Rob's demeanor? How was his performance? How was his reaction to his performance?
I didn't talk to him today after the round. I didn't see him, but yesterday he seemed to be regular Rob Hogan, always in good spirits, always laid back, and his swing was looking good. It looked like he was running well, and it's in speed golf. Everyone's playing by themselves, so it's hard to really say how it's going out in the course.
Sure.
But we certainly expected a little faster times from Rob, so I'm not sure exactly why he wasn't running that 40 flat or even sub 40 that we expect to see from him.
Yeah, I see 44 and 46, which is compared to last year where I think he was 41 and 39.
Right.
And apparently that's kind of across the field. Everyone was going a little bit slower. What were some of the factors there that were playing into that?
I think the ground I wasn't there last year, but the ground was soft.
The ground was wet. It was downright wet. The other thing I would say is it was certainly warm for Chicago. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was in the morning when y'all played, Alan, it was probably like 68, 70.
I think so. It was about that. But yeah, even after I played, I was wringing my shirt out.
Yeah.
It didn't. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think when I played, it was like almost 80 degrees or maybe 80 degrees. It was really warm.
Yeah, it was warmer than we expected because it was so breezy. It would kind of feel cold if you were standing around. And a lot of people were wearing long sleeves and long pants because as soon as you'd walk outside a building, it felt a little brisk with that, as it tends to be in the Chicago area. But the actual temperature was, like you said, it was right around 80 degrees.
Yeah, I was sweating bad on my round. My scorer even commented how much I was wiping my face.
Yeah, so Rob finishes 4th behind Wes Cupp and Mack McLain, who also shot within 1 point of Rob Hogan. So, I mean, it was a tight race right there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You've got them at 253, 254, and then you've got Jaime Young, who was the only person, quote unquote, under par on this leaderboard that I'm looking at. So he kind of, in a sense, ran away with it, but definitely tied at the top. Did you guys talk to Mac or Wes about their rounds?
I talked to Mac. So Mac told me on his Monday round that he played really well and he ran well. Alan, do you know if he had the fastest time? I think he did.
Yeah, he did by quite a bit, by about 3 minutes.
Yeah. He said he had a really good round, but I think he said he had 3 or 4 3 putts that he really regretted. So,
from the first round?
In the first round, yeah.
Okay, because if I remember us from our podcast, his strategy was, hey, I might just go out and run as fast as I can. If I make 12 birdies and 6 pars, I'm happy because I think I can do that in around 40 minutes.
12 bogeys.
Okay.
What did I say? 12 birdies?
You said birdies.
So I think he could get 12 birdies in there. No, but yeah. Anyways, that was his strategy was, I can make 12 bogeys, 6 pars. I'm going to shoot 84, and I think I can do that in around 40 minutes. And it looks like in the first round,
he shot 83.
He did shot 83, so he shot 1 better. So he made 11 bogeys and 7 pars.
And no doubles. Wow.
Exactly. So he kind of went according to plan, and it kind of worked for him.
Yeah, he expressed some regret to me about the 3 putts on day 1. And then I talked to him a little bit today after his round, and he said that he actually had a slight hamstring injury.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he didn't feel like he could run quite as fast as he was capable of, which is why he ran 4 minutes slower today than he did yesterday.
Yeah, and I see 3 doubles on the front 9, and I see a triple on the back 9. So those are things that he was able to avoid in day 1 that kind of came up in day 2. But still, 85 and 45 minutes is good enough with that first round for him to land 3rd place. Again, 2nd year in a row.
Yeah, and I love this, how this leaderboard has a time par, and Mac is he's got 9 birdies in a row for the time scorecard on the back 9.
His whole time scorecard is just red.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it. I'm really impressed. I think Golf Gamebook has done a great job right here, and I bet that now that they've done one event, they're going to go back and they probably have a whole list of things that they think they can probably improve on.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Do you think they would be good to use in other events?
I met quite a few people at Chicago who actually use this app in their weekly skins games or their games with their friends or their league in their city, and they all love it.
And I think there's some possibilities too in using this for real-time scoring. If you were to say, if you have enough volunteers or just train the spotters on it, maybe they're too occupied with spotting. But if you're to have a spotter or someone out there just recording scores after each hole, that would be pretty exciting to have in terms of real time.
Yes, I actually wanted to get into this, and Scott's the perfect guy to do it since he was doing operations for SGI in 2014. But in 2014, we didn't have scorers follow every player. We had scorers stationed at each green, right? To me, the obvious benefit of that is that you only need 18, right? I mean, I guess some of them might want to break or something, but you only need 18 at a time, and you're not like running around trying to chase people down and go, oh my gosh, we have a player on the tee that we don't have a scorer for. But that format would also fit really nicely with real-time scoring, because as all they need is an iPhone or an Android, and as the players come through, they just enter it.
And that's what's been done in junior events and college events for even back when I was playing. So it's out there.
Yeah.
Well, even if not, if there's the score that's in the cart driving along with you like they do at the World Championship, there's no reason why they can't have an iPhone and be filling in your score as they're moving along and scoring you, because they stop every once in a while too while you're hitting a shot or whatever. So
the one thing I think you could really add to the real time aspect of it is if the timekeeper or the scorekeeper that goes with the player. Now, what I did, I started my stopwatch on my phone when I was timing, and then I compared it with what they had. I just wanted to see, how accurate it was, and it was accurate to the second.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, we compared them when we got done. It was exactly the same.
You didn't have timing chips. You didn't have anything like that. It was just you teed off and they hit the button right when you finished.
Yep. But you could post, in addition to posting the score after each hole, you could post the cumulative time. And that would really kind of give people a gauge of, you could go down the list and go, wow, look, Mack McLain finished the fifth hole by whatever it would be, 11 minutes and 4 seconds or whatever. And whoever, Jaime Young did it in 12 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah, I wonder if it can't be like, downhill slalom and stuff like that, where it's more you've got that tracker, that clock on the bottom right of the screen, and have you hit a certain mark by the time that the fastest person has yet? And if not, then it knows that you got there in the fifth fastest time. And I think as you're kind of talking through that, do you think that's an option that we could do that?
Well,
have certain checkpoints that you should be at by, and then that's how you kind of can rank where people are in terms of their speed.
I think we need to save this discussion.
I know.
For Chris Hunthausen, who is a computer science professor in Washington State and is working on just such a system.
Okay, we're going to get back to that. Right now, really quickly, let's talk Jaime Young, amateur status, heads out, wins the World Championship. Oh my gosh.
Man, solid play. Even part of that first day was super impressive. I didn't get a chance to watch him. Did you, Alan?
No, he teed off kind of in the middle of the wave, so I was done for about an hour. By that point, I think I was actually eating breakfast at the time.
But you only see him coming down 18 fairway, like that's really kind of it, yeah.
So Paris said he watched him a little bit and said he just looked really smooth, like no mistakes, just it doesn't look blazing fast, but just efficient and smooth.
Yeah, his first round he shoots even. He does it in 50 minutes, and there's plenty of other players who ran faster than him. I'm talking, looks like, maybe over 10 people who had faster times than him.
Yeah, but even par in that time period is, of course, you had even par in 48 last year, didn't you?
Yeah, but what would 48 be this year with the different conditions? You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, I would have been slower. I probably would have been closer to 52 or whatever. But I mean, It's so impressive. 72 in 50 minutes, comes out in the second round, and he was super solid. He only made 5 bogeys. The rest were pars, and shot 5 over in 51 minutes. Alan, is 77 in 51 minutes a good round?
I think so, especially if you go into the final day with a 5-shot lead. That's one of the other things that would be nice with real-time scoring is to know strategy. I think he, maybe he went into it just saying, okay, I just need to shoot kind of mid-70s. Probably no one's going to shoot a 67 in 45 minutes. And so maybe that's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like Nick Faldo's 18 pars at the British Open. Yeah. It's got kind of a speed golf version of that.
Yeah, just hang in there.
Just stay out of trouble, build the lead, and let everyone else make the mistakes. Or some people who played really good golf, so they were just too far back to make up ground. And 72 in day one. 72 for speed golf is kind of becoming like the 63 is in regular golf for the majors. It's the number that has been hit several times, but
it's
for whatever.
It's a 4-minute mile, man.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I was certain this year it was going to happen. And, shout out to Gretchen Johnson as well. 3-time women's world champion, shoots even par in 57 minutes yesterday. That also is like a historic round, I think, in speed golf for sure.
Absolutely.
So I'm confident in saying that Gretchen Johnson will be, if not the first inductee into the Speed Golf Hall of Fame, she'll be second.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be right there. Awesome, guys. So overall recap of the week, how was it? Give me your final thoughts.
It's always exciting to play the World Championship, and it's very exciting to see the international aspect grow with each year. There was representation from all over the world, and it's always interesting how it plays out every year, other than last year. But for 2014, you kind of had that blanket finish where there were so many people with a chance to win. But last year, Rob distanced himself quite a bit. But 2014, I think it was 5 or 6 shots.
10 people within five shots, or within 6 shots.
Right. And then here we had, I think, I remember what was after me, but that was 6 and only 7 shots, I think, back at first. And so it's tight. And I think there was a number out there that someone could have gone low with time and score. And we had some really good scores without the spectacular times, and had some pretty solid times without the going super low.
Yeah, I see the best score in the final round was Sean King. He shot 1 over.
Yeah, and there were several in the mid 70s as well. I think there was a 74, at least 175, several
475s. One of them shot by Wes.
I was saying, including Wes Cupp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he shot even on the front, so I'm sure he was licking his chops coming in.
A couple 76s, 79.
That's solid.
Good scores.
So, Alan, I'm sure you've gone over your 2 rounds, and just like me, you know what you shoot if the day goes perfect. So, what were those numbers for you this week?
Yesterday, I was hoping, 74 to 78 was kind of where I was hoping to be. Figure that, if I run high 40s or around 50, that, shoot 125, 127, you're not gonna be too far out of it. Or I'll take my chance on someone shooting a 116 and blowing everyone out.
Yeah.
Versus trying to get,
because it could be you.
Right, exactly. And it's I'd rather be 125, 127 and be likely to have a chance versus try to get too greedy and shoot 135 and be out of it. Mm-hmm. So I think 75 is always a good number, but there was definitely numbers out there because the par 5s are all gettable. And even though it was windy, the ground was pretty soft, so it was receptive. The greens were receptive, slowed them down a little bit. And with the greens, or with the fairways being wet, it effectively adds about 10 to 20 yards of width because the balls aren't running into the rough. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about the rough. I think the rough was pretty fair. You could lose balls in there if they buried, but for the most part, you were going to find your ball in the rough, in the regular rough.
I would agree. I think it was just a little bit better than it was last year. Last year, it was pretty easy to lose your ball in the rough.
It was like no other course I've played. I'm not being critical of it. I'm being like it was a unique environment. It was like the shadow of the sun bouncing off all the leaves, and they were like just the perfect color. And then the rough was just high enough where you just couldn't. It was like there was a reflection in a windshield. You couldn't see. You just couldn't find the ball. That's what I felt like.
Yeah, well, look, world champion Yuri Crum lose like 7 golf balls. Yeah. You lost a couple golf balls.
Yeah.
People were looing golf balls left and right last year.
Yeah. What about this year?
I didn't hear that from really anyone this year.
Yeah. So really 2 different looks at the same golf course. And yet the scores are, I would say all in all,
comparable.
They're comparable. And I think all in all, the top 10 have shot on average a little bit lower this year than last year, but very comparable. So
lower scores, but slower times.
In slower times. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, well, maybe next year at some point, somebody's going to break par. Alan, did you see yourself, like, have you gone back and looked at your rounds and gone, well, if that goes right and that goes right and I make that putt, I shoot, 71 or 70. Have you thought that at all?
Yesterday, definitely. Today, there was a little too much slop in there. I think it would be disingenuous to say, that if I
had a mulligan.
Yeah, then that 82 turns into 68.
If I didn't have a score, I could just drop another ball.
Right. I mean, now I did have a 4 putt and from 15 feet, and effectively turned a potential birdie into a double on that one hole where you didn't find the ball in the rough that was 180 out for a second shot on the par 5. So, deconstructing my exact rounds, I don't think there was an under par round in there, but there was definitely something that was good enough to be a little higher up on the leaderboard, mid 70s, low 70s both days, and running high 40s, and that would be certainly competitive.
Awesome. All right, episode 42 in the books. Our recap of the World Championship this year up in Chicago, the Glen Club. Awesome event. Congratulations, Jaime Young. Speaking of Jaime Young, we're going to have him on the podcast coming up next Tuesday. We're going to do 2 episodes. We'll cut the interview up in 2 because it was just so good. Just want to remind you real quick, we are having the Pace of Play Challenge down in Austin, Texas on December 31st. It's going to be a blast. We're looking for 5 professional speed golfers to come. We'll have a purse. We're also having Pace of Play flights, and that's a maximum amount of time. So you can either choose the 2-hour flight or the 3-hour flight, and you must finish in that amount of time or face a penalty for every minute over that you play. And again, the goal here is to begin to introduce golfers to the concept of time being a part of the golfing experience. It's a whole new dimension. It's so much fun. So we'll be doing the Pace of Play flights, and then of course we're doing it in tandem with the Last Chance Open, which is a annual event that's happened in the last several years at Wolf Dancer at Hyatt Lost Pines, just outside of Austin, Texas. If you're interested, let us know. Head over to speedgolftexas.com for all the information and to sign up. Also, we are putting together a team. Speedgolf USA, that is putting together a team to head down to New Zealand and Australia next March 1st through 13th, it looks like tentatively it's going to be. So it'll be about 2 weeks down under. It's going to be an amazing time. Not only are we going to play in 2 national speed golf championships and represent our country, but we're also going to put together a nice little travel package for you. So it's going to be awesome. We'll have more information on that. If you're interested, usaspeedgolf.com, usaspeedgolf.com, usaspeedgolf.com. You can head over there and sign up, and we'll certainly get back to you with more information on that. Okay, everybody, until next time, pick up the pace, play from your heart.